It's another Pac-Man series.
That's why you're looking at both of them. Because again, there's Pokemon cards over here. Wired one. Okay. So that one switched with this, and then this one you get separately. You can buy it separately, okay? You got your phone number from me, man.
So there's no doubt that I've gotten some major bangers from GameStop when it comes to retro video games. But in this video, I'm gonna show you some of the major losses that I've really taken when purchasing retro games from GameStop's website. And unfortunately, these are games that I'm not gonna be able to return because they were sent to my old address and I had to have them forwarded. Therefore, the window for me to return them has expired. And so these are losses that unfortunately I'm going to have to eat. However, by the end of this video, you're gonna understand what I do to mitigate these losses and how I'm gonna ensure a more prolonged success in the future. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these games that I've gotten that did not even come with their case, let alone their manual. The first game that you've got here is this copy of Rogue Galaxy for the PS2. I honestly think that this is a pretty decent game. This is a pretty decent action RPG game on the PlayStation 2. And if you've ever seen the cover art, it actually looks like a really good looking game and it plays pretty nice. This is not one of the most expensive games on the planet, so I wasn't really too heartbroken. Rogue Galaxy goes for somewhere between like 13 and 20 bucks. So I wasn't really losing too much sleep over that at all. Now, it looks like not only did they send me the loose disc, it looks like what they sent me was a demo disc. So this is not even the actual game. This is a demo of the game. So this is a huge bummer, major L here. And this is one that I'm just gonna have to eat because unfortunately I missed a return window. So as you can see, they're not all winners, and these are the types of scenarios that people who despise GameStop are really talking about when they say they can't stand ordering from GameStop's online website. The next game that I took a major L on, you'll get to see here, is Mario Power Tennis. Now, with Mario Power Tennis, I mean, the cool thing is that this disc is actually in really good shape. Like if I were to pull it out and show you, the disc itself has almost 0 scratches. Unfortunately, there's no case, there's no manual, and I just have the bare disc by itself. So again, another L, but this is one that I may try to find at least a case for because of how clean the disc is. This is one that I think is gonna stay in the collection. Now, it's a similar story with Mega Man Legends on the PlayStation 1. Now, I did get a copy of Mega Man 64 on the N64 from GameStop's website, and that cartridge actually came in pretty decent condition. And for those of you who know, Mega Man Legends and Mega Man 64 are for the most part the same game. Just one is on the N64, the other one is on the PlayStation. However, most people will say that the Mega Man Legends on the PlayStation is the preferred way to play the game, just for a lot of different reasons. One of them not being the load times, but for a lot of other factors that I won't get into in this video. Nevertheless, this is what GameStop sent me. They sent me this disc-only game, and again, very, very good-looking disc. This is probably one of the cleanest discs I've gotten from them in terms of PlayStation 1 discs. And if I were to flip it over again, there's next to 0 scratches on the disc itself. So, I mean, I don't understand how GameStop could get a disc this clean without the case and manual, but I guess it happens. Either that or someone in the store just took the case for whatever reason, because I do know that GameStop likes to take cases off and put them in these generic boxes and throw them away at times. Unfortunately, there's no consistency amongst GameStops when it comes to how they handle original casing and original boxing. Some stores like to keep them, some stores like to throw them away. I guess it just depends on which store is sending you the game. However, in this case, I was the unlucky buyer of this Mega Man Legends that did not come with a case and manual. Nevertheless, just like with Mario Tennis, because of how clean the disc is, this is one that I might keep in the collection and just hope to find a case and manual at some point in the future. This one was a major letdown for me as well. So you got X-Men Origins Wolverine Uncaged. Now, the reason why I don't think this one stung as bad was because I picked this one up during a buy two get one. So although this is one of the more pricier games on the Xbox 360, I don't think I paid full price for this one, if I'm not mistaken. And then as you can see, again, we only have the disc, no case. No case, no manual. I can't remember if the disc on this one was in great condition, but whether it is or whether it isn't, I can't return this. So it's an L that I took there. And then the next game that we have here is Blitz to the League on the PlayStation 3. Another one that I was hoping to get with the case and manual. For some reason, PlayStation 3 games seem to be rising in popularity again for some reason. And unfortunately, this one, in this case, I did not get the case and the manual. So here we go. We have all of these games, about 5 games that came without the case or the manual. So I know a lot of times I tend to show a lot of the wins, but these are some of the major losses that you can take when shopping from GameStop's website, where you get a lot of these generic cases. Now, quick pause before I start to show you some of the more recent wins that I've taken on their website, and how I, ensure more success when it comes to purchasing online. But before we get into that, I did just want to also remind everyone that I am looking for someone who does video editing content. If you are a content creator, a content editor, if you like to edit videos, please hit me up on Instagram. I'm offering a paid position for someone who can assist with the new direction that I want to take the channel when it comes to content and the types of topics that I cover and how I deliver the content to you all. I'm really going to be trying to stress value during the second half of this year, but in order to get to the level that I think I want to get to, I am going to need some help. So if you do like to edit videos, if it's something that you do, please hit me up on IG and I'll be more than happy to work with you. You can send me some samples of what it is you do. And again, it is a paid opportunity. All right, now moving on to some of the wins that I've gotten on GameStop's website, which is something that I'm happy for. We're gonna start with like a partial win. So this is a partial win. So we have Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. This is one that I ordered on the website, and it was not complete, but it did have all of the inserts and it came with the game. So literally the only thing missing out of this was the manual. Outside of that, almost everything came in the case. Now, it's not a complete win, but it's not an absolute loss like we saw with the first 5 games. And this is something that I'm willing to deal with. A lot of times I really ultimately prefer every game that I get from there to be complete in box. Usually if it's not complete in box, I will send it back. But if it's in good condition and all that's missing is the manual, has all the inserts, the disc is really clean, in some cases I will keep it and just bank on the fact, bank on the hope rather, that I will find the manual in the future. But to me, I would consider this somewhat of a win when ordering a disc-based game online. But one of the best ways that I like to ensure almost like a 100% success rate when it comes to ordering games from GameStop's website is just by ordering cartridges. When you order cartridges, it's almost like you cannot lose. And I'll give you some examples here of games that I ordered that are cartridge-based that came in pretty good condition if I do say so myself. First off, we have Faxanadu, a little bit of an action RPG here on the NES. I've been building a very solid NES collection. I typically do loose cart on the NES unless I'm able to find something complete in box. Obviously, I'm not going to turn that down if one comes across my way for a decent price. But this one did come in the mail, came with a really good label on it. Faxanadu is not a very expensive game by any stretch of the imagination, but I did pick this up during a buy two get one, and this was a really good deal. Another one we have here, Spanky's Quest. This is a Natsume game. Natsume is one of those companies that I typically keep my eye out for, kind of like Gelco or Hudson Soft or Konami. It's not quite up there with like the Konamis of the world or the Capcoms of the world, but Natsume to me is in that second tier, along, like I said, along with Hudson Soft and Gelco and some of those other you know, developers that had some really great games, especially on the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. And so I picked this one up. Again, very clean label. Really glad to add this one in. Solid game, nothing too crazy. These are not really expensive games, but solid games to have in the collection. These two, on the other hand, were more of a risk because these are weightier and more pricey games, even on GameStop's website. So I think these both go for between 55 and 60 bucks on GameStop's website, but both of these are classics. So the first one that we have is Super Mario RPG 7 stars on the Super Nintendo. This is actually a very clean copy on the Super Nintendo that came in the mail, so was glad that it came in this condition. And then we have The Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap, which is a game that I did not have even in my original collection, and my for some reason the focus on my camera is losing its mind right now. I don't know what the heck is going on. But Minish Cap is one that I did not have in my old collection, and I was actually glad to add it in. Minish Cap, the label on this one does show some wear a little bit, and the cartridge itself also shows some wear, but for some reason when it comes to certain Game Boy Advance games, if it does have a little bit of wear, I almost welcome that, because I get a little bit nervous when games like Minish Cap are too clean and too perfect, because then it just screams fake to me, or repro, or not authentic, and then I start to have my reservations. So yes, this one has a little bit of wear on it, but it's a legit copy. It works, which is the most important part, and is a great addition to the collection. And so moral of the story here is that if you want to order from GameStop's website and you want to kind of give yourself a better chance of getting something that you'll actually enjoy in condition that you'll enjoy, my recommendation is go cartridge based as much as you can. Whenever you go for something that's disc based, there's not a very low, but there is definitely it's not 50-50 anymore. For me, my success rate used to be actually high when it came to disc-based games. It used to be roughly around 60%. But over the past couple weeks, it's definitely taken a major dip. And when it comes to disc-based games, I'm batting like 2 for 15. The last 15 games that I've ordered from GameStop's website. So it's been really low. I don't know what's happening with these cases. I do know that a lot of stores have been saying that people are coming in and just taking the cases off the wall. So they have to hide the case, hide the manual. They almost have to hide everything, because you have these, you know, resellers, or, you know, these collectors that come in and basically just take the case and the manual, because for certain games, the case and the manual has a good amount of value. You know, if you find a copy of Def Jam Fight for New York, the case and the manual, that could be worth more than some complete unboxed PlayStation games or PlayStation 2 games. So it's definitely getting a little dog-eat-dog, or more dog-eat-dog than it was before. But nonetheless, hopefully some of these, you know, tips, or this one tip really that I've given you in this video, helps you with your success rate when it comes to getting games from GameStop online in the condition that you want them in. But let me know what your experience has been lately, and I will catch you in the next one. It's the Y2K Collector. You guys take it easy.